If you have been in business for a while and are still feeling like things could be better, more sustainable, more predictable, like you're building towards something that is self-sustaining as opposed to something that is relying on your constant launching and time investment and financial investment, then this episode is going to be one that you're not going to want to miss. For those of you who don't know me yet, hi and welcome. My name is Danielle Venables. I am a mom of three, homesteader, entrepreneur, business coach, and sovereign wealth advocate. And I am coming at you today with an episode about not only diversifying your income streams, which is something I've been talking about for a number of years now, but with a specific framework that allows you to make what's called leveraged income. And if you're not sure what leveraged income is, it's basically starting to build out income streams that work for you. So, as opposed to needing to constantly launch and pour into things and start back at zero if you take a step back or if you take a break, leveraged income is something that pays you back tenfold, 20-fold, exponentially, and not just in the coachy ROI type conversation of, I invested 5 grand and now I'm making 50K months, but literally in a way that if you took a year off of your business, that money would still be paying you. It would still be coming in. It would still be growing. So I like to look at these streams of income as things that are an investment into the future. Right? Because, of course, in the present, if you have a coaching business, or maybe you're an artist, or maybe you're an event planner, there is obviously a degree of joy if that is what you're choosing to do with your life. But we also need to be looking over a longer time horizon. Once you have kids, or maybe you've already got kids and you want to take the summers off with them and not have to worry about launching or supporting clients, or maybe you want to scale way back while they're home for the summer. Whatever your situation is, it's important to look with foresight into how do I want my business to actually run for me? How do I want my finances to look, right? And there's a number of ways that you can um, achieve these like leveraged income streams. And they all have some things in common. You can invest in different stocks, you can invest in crypto. There's things like that that in theory should be growing with you. And then there's also certain income streams, one of which I'm going to sort of share with you today, that is partnering with a collective, with a company, with somebody, not even somebody, with a group of people that you align with fundamentally and that feels expansive to be a part of, that also has the added benefit of growing over time. And so this structure, and it is an affiliate marketing structure, I'll be completely upfront with you on that. I'm not going to keep it a secret. This affiliate marketing structure that builds over time is something that is not only sustainable, but it doesn't regress. If you're not able to launch, it doesn't regress. If you are not wanting to pour a bunch of effort into it, maybe it's right at the beginning and you've got other launches going on. For me at this point in time, as I'm recording this, I've got my Oracle deck coming out. I have my coaching offers available. And then I also have this stream of income all kind of going at once. And so what that means is this offer isn't always at the forefront. It's not always the thing that's going to be in the spotlight. But the beauty of it is it's growing even when I'm not promoting it. And it's not depreciating in value. I know what's coming in every month from it. And of course, I can push and stretch and get that offer in front of more people and get it more visible and bring in influxes of people, which will also give me a cash injection, which is another nice thing to have. But I can also just relax. And I know that even if I do nothing, this amount of money is going to come in next month. Um, and so what that does is it allows you to map out whether that's your six-figure business, whether that's your $1 million business. It allows you to map out your income a little bit more predictably because you're pulling a percentage of your income from something that is sustainable and from something that's not going to go away. It's not going to depend on how your launch goes. It's not going to depend on what the economy is doing. It is literally going to be there for you no matter what. And that's why, for those of you who have followed me for a while, getting pregnant with my third baby, I thought that a part of my business was dying. And honestly, throughout that pregnancy, I realized that I was right. And the reason that that had to die was because my vision for a successful coaching business was coming from a place of, I'm going to have a course, I'm going to have a mastermind, I'm going to have a group program, I'm going to work one-on-one with people. It was like building out all of these quote unquote income streams, but they were actually all one income stream. And I think that's something that we get really tripped up on in the coaching industry, because all these business coaches are like supposed experts in business, and what it really comes down to is they're just replicating a sort of basic understanding of what it means to build a coaching business. And so because of that, your income is actually not diversified. Yes, you have different offers to meet people at different levels. Whether they can invest $200 or $20,000, you can have offers to meet your clients in different places. And that often gets misconstrued as being multiple income sources, when in reality, that's multiple offers, but it's all one income stream. It's all coming from your coaching business. It's all reliant on your output, your production, your willingness to launch or build funnels, or, do the audience growth and put out reels and put out social media. Like, that is a predetermining factor of how successful your month or your year are going to be. And so as I navigated my pregnancy with my third, I realized that my capacity to pour into my business the way that I had with two kids was going to be reduced again. I was starting off with another newborn, and three kids. Like, that's a handful. And we don't have family support nearby, and a lot of it does fall on my shoulders, and that's okay. That's the life that I chose, and I honestly wouldn't choose any other way. But it meant that I was faced with a very real reality that something in my business had to change, something had to shift, and all of a sudden spending all of my hours on my coaching business, either bringing people into the business or working with those people once they were in the business, that was no longer a sustainable structure for me on its own. So throughout my pregnancy, I naturally started just like eliminating different things, taking away different offers, retiring old programs, retiring my mastermind, at least for the time being. And really, I simplified my business down to the point where you have a couple courses you can buy on my website and you can work one-on-one with me. And that's basically all that I have right now in my coaching side of my business. And it was honestly scary to let all of that go, right? Because there was so much income there that I now knew I wouldn't be able to generate, right? Like scalable structures that I had built that I was no longer going to be filling and that I was no longer going to be promoting. And so with that inevitably came an income dip. And what I was faced with as I was letting go of all of the things that no longer felt aligned throughout that pregnancy is like, well, what now? I knew something had to come in and take its place, but at the time, in that moment, I didn't know what was coming in. I didn't know what I was going to find or what I was going to come up with. I was just trusting because I knew that things were feeling overwhelming. They weren't feeling spacious anymore. My heart wasn't in these offers anymore. And it was time to release them and release myself from the weight of holding them, right? So after having my son, it was almost a year and a half, just over a year, before I came across an opportunity that was my fuck yes. And this opportunity was a fuck yes for a number of reasons. It was also almost a no for a number of reasons, which I will get into. But it was really an answered prayer for me. Like, it came at a time where I was looking, I was exploring, I was looking at like different network marketing companies, which I thought I would never do. Um, Trying to see like, okay, well, what are they doing or how does their structure work? Like, how are these people building, sustainable businesses? And then as I was looking at those things, a couple of really big network marketing companies actually closed their doors without notice. And so I kind of took that as a sign from God of like, okay, this is not the direction that you're meant to go in. Um, and so I kept searching, and then eventually one of my friends actually shared an opportunity, and I reached out to her and I watched a video, and I was like, okay, this is it. I can't explain why yet. I'm still not sure it's not a scam because it sounds too good to be true, but I trust you. And I trust my gut, and they're both saying yes. So, I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to figure out the rest later. So then I spent the whole next week after I said yes, watching videos, doing background research, figuring out everything that this company was about. I like dug deep. Think like, that best friend that you have that you send her the name of a guy and she will like basically pull up his criminal record check. Like that is the type of deep dive that I did into this company. And I looked at everything. I looked at the owners, I looked at the products, I looked at the business structure. I looked at it with my own discernment as a business coach and someone who went to school for business. And I looked at the structure and made sense of, okay, how are they paying us like this? And where's that money coming from? And is it going to be another company that's just going to crash and burn? I asked all of those questions. I went through this with a fine tooth comb and ultimately came to the conclusion that, oh my gosh, this is the real deal. This is what I've been looking for. This is what I've been praying for. And it would be absolutely insane not to seize this opportunity and not to go all in on it. And so while there were elements of um, similarity in the structure and the compensation plan to something like a network marketing company, there were also enough differences that I found in that process where I felt in complete and total integrity with it. Um, where I had no questions, and I had no issues selling. In fact, I felt like it was a disservice for the first time in my life. And, I've worked on this mindset for 5 years. I have, um, you know, gotten over a lot of my own shit. I've done a lot of the healing. And this is honestly the first time in my life where I can say with absolute certainty that I would be doing a disservice if I did not share this with people. And I have felt very strong and convicted in the offers that I've personally created, in the coaching that I offer, in the way that I lead and the way that people experience transformation in my spaces. Like I have complete conviction in that as well. But knowing that it is higher ticket, knowing that it is a little bit more serious of a decision, and I guess bigger stakes at the same time. And also knowing that not everybody needs my coaching, right? And that's okay. That's actually beautiful because I wouldn't be able to keep up if everybody did. um, but with this company, with this opportunity, it literally felt like a disservice to not shout it from the rooftops and to not share it with people and at least give them the opportunity to be a part of my team and be a part of my organization. Um, and what it's also done is it's provided me with a space where I can mentor people who otherwise may not have access to my mentorship. I can have them in and provide them resources and training, not only from myself, but from our amazing community for basically free or next to free. I mean, the monthly cost of staying active in this company is less than a Zoom subscription. And on top of that, it gets you other benefits too, which Zoom just gets you Zoom, right? So it's been a really amazing journey of just like finding my spark again, finding something that I'm so passionate about. And this company, like when I tell you that the integrity and the desire to just like form a different world, a different paradigm, a different economy for the everyday person within this company is just like so inspiring and so authentic. And, you can tell all the way up to the leaders that more than anything, more than their own self-serving, financial desires and things like that, like they want to see people succeed. They want to see people get healthy. They want to see people get wealthy. And, the owner of this company even said on one of our last calls that he loves a good underdog story. He wants that person who only has $10 in their bank account to come out on top and to completely transform their life and the people's lives who are closest to them, right? And so to me, that's a mission that I could get behind because that's me too. I love an underdog story. In fact, when I was watching the World Juniors in hockey over Christmas time, I found myself cheering for Latvia because they shouldn't have even been there. And yet they came and they showed up every game and they tried and they pushed and they ended up winning some really key games. And it was really fun to watch, like I love watching the underdogs win. And I love being a part of a movement where I get to help facilitate that, where I get to pour my expertise, my strategic genius, my intuitive genius, and my gifts into helping people change their financial realities for good. And that's something that is like near and dear to my heart, even as we look at a possible relocation out of Canada down to South America and things like that. I'm thinking about the impact that I could make once I get down there and helping locals, change their financial trajectory because there is a lot of poverty down in South America, right? And so helping them start their online business. And I just got chills even talking about it because that's how much it means to me. And then there's a fundraising department with this company as well that's launching really soon. And so being able to then help schools and organizations and women's shelters and all of these amazing pet rescues, all of these amazing organizations that my heart is already in, helping them to create sustainable monthly income as well so that they can keep doing the work in the world that they're doing. Like that's what's lighting me up about this. That's what's really changing things for me. It's not even about my own paycheck. Of course, that's a nice bonus. But it's really being a part of a greater movement where people have looked at the systems in the world, in the network marketing world, in the economy at large, in, the health and wellness space, in all of these areas, and been like, hang on, we can do this better. We can do this from a place of service. We can do this in a way that is going to benefit everybody and sustain a business at the same time. And to me, that's really what got me. And that was my hook, line, and sinker where I was like, okay, this is the real deal. I understand the structure. I understand where the money comes from. I understand how they afford to pay people what they pay people. I understand why this business is sustainable and not going anywhere. I understand the vision. I understand the integrity and the heart behind it. And it would be insane not to go all in. And so if you've seen me talking about sovereign wealth online, whether you're connected with me on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, probably to a lesser degree, but if you've been paying attention to my content recently, you'll notice there's been a massive shift towards sovereignty. I've always talked about sustainability, but sovereignty, truly sovereign income that does not depend on your effort on a month-to-month basis. It just depends on the foundations that you've built and your willingness to show up and receive on the other side of that. This is what it's about. This is what I'm talking about. And it is such an honor and a privilege to be liberating so many amazing women and coaches and families. And even if you're not a woman, you are so welcome here. A lot of my work speaks to freedom-minded mamas. So that's kind of who I talk to. But it is literally a life-changing opportunity for everybody that it touches. And I just can't wait to share more with you. Like, truthfully, from the bottom of my heart, I cannot wait to share more with you. So if this is something that you're like, yeah, I've been looking for something sustainable. I've been looking for something accessible. By the way, it's only $50 to start. So, and then $10 a month after that. So even if budget is an issue, like you can literally get into this for next to nothing, and start making money in your first month. I 3x'd my investment in my first month for like the year. My initial $50 investment, I think I would have like 8x'd if I'm mathing correctly, 6 to 8x'd. Um, but regardless, there is so much potential with this, and a really low barrier to entry. So it's not discriminating on whether you can afford the $10,000 coach or the $30,000 mastermind, or, whatever else we've been sort of taught and conditioned that we have to invest. It's like, if you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to take a chance on yourself, and if you're willing to decide that I'm going to lean in and I'm going to do this and I'm going to give it my all and see what's on the other side of that, then I want you to reach out to me on social media. Come drop the word sovereign into my inbox and I will send you the details, because this is not something that you want to pass up on. And we are growing every single day. I'm enrolling people almost every day at this point, and I would love to have you in there with me. I would love to grow a team and a legacy with you. I would love to help you create generational wealth for yourself and your family and your kids, and your extended family. This is something that I am like bringing to my parents and everything, because I see the potential for them to be able to actually afford to retire, right? And even that, in today's world, in today's economy, is something that is so challenging to do. My dad is leaving the country because he can't afford to live in Canada on his pension. So, there's so much potential here, and it just feels so good to be sharing this with people and being in service to those people, because even 100, 200, 300, 500, 5,000 a month, right? Like, all of that makes a huge difference for the people in my life. And that's really where we're going with it, right? And so you can go all in, or you can just kind of let it build slowly, and it'll all build over time. Like, it will build. And the choice is yours. And there's never any pressure. There's never any phone calls, asking why you didn't enroll people, or, why you didn't place a product order that month or whatever. Like, there's none of that at all. You just pay your $10 a month, you stay active, you build at your own pace. There is a plethora of trainings and live calls and strategic elements and everything, so much support at your fingertips by saying yes to this opportunity. And you just go for it. You just do what you want to do. You do what fits in your life, in your lifestyle, and you let it be what you want it to be. So that's what I've got for you today. Reach out to me on social media with the word sovereign if you would like more information. Sorry about my son in the background. Mom life. But yeah, this is all available to you. These doors are wide open for you. And I'm actually going to be running some of these mentorship calls and stuff for the team moving forward as well. We just got off a leadership call this morning, and it was freaking amazing. The vision and the gifts that these women are bringing into this space, and that these leaders are bringing into the space, it is going to enhance not only your affiliate business that you start here, but also the rest of your business. Because if you already have a business, a personal brand, things like that, this is a degree of mentorship and mastery that can help you across the board. So reach out with the word sovereign. I will catch you in the next episode. And as always, I hope you have a fantastic week ahead.